I'm looking at Harriet Tubman. Who the fuck is that? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Imai and today is Beat TV. Nope, that's not my intro. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Imai and this is Beat TV. Beat TV is a series on my channel where we watch an episode of a TV show. It's mostly cartoons, but you can switch it up if you want while I put my makeup on. But my makeup's already done because this is my channel and I can do as I please. To be serious, I immediately start laughing. My cat died. I don't know if y'all know this, but my cat was like my favorite being in the whole world. So I didn't feel like concentrating on way too many things at once today. I just wanted to do my makeup and then sit in front of a camera and talk. Today we are watching the trailer, or the teaser is what they're calling it, for the new season of Clone High. I'm a little late. I should have dropped this video the day after the trailer dropped. I'm late, I know. But I told y'all I was going to do it and I've been itching to do it. You might not like what I have to say. I don't even like that I have to say the things that I have to say. But if I see any slurs in the comments, we're shutting this. The comments are getting shut down. So let's start, okay? But I feel like you guys are going to share. We're just going to start. It's only a minute and 50 seconds. So let's start. So just from this little opening scene, like Joan looks the same, Abe looks the same. I think JFK that was JFK that ran through. Look at these background characters. This is Clone High. I cannot tell you who any of those people are. Because Clone High was specifically for the clones. Are they adding background characters? Is everyone who goes here a historical figure? Who are these people? Like the Asian woman in the yellow in the purple dress, like she looks like she could be someone that I just don't know. But who are the rest of these people? Are y'all letting outsiders into Clone High? I don't understand. The trailer is kind of catching us up on where we left off and then letting us know what the new season is going to be. So I guess this is the new principal. Whoever this woman is announcing that, 20 years ago Scudworth made these clones. Technically, it'd be longer than 20 years ago because it was way back in the 1980s and the show came out in 2002, so 40 years ago. But they're saying Scudworth sent the clones to Clone High, and then prom night he froze them, so their new mission for season 2 is to unfreeze these clones and then groom them into taking over the world and being new world leaders, but evil. Okay, I'm not mad at that plot. I'm not mad at it. Because these evil people kind of had a little plot thing going on in the prom episode as well, I think. So I'm not mad at this being the plot for the new season. I don't know what Cleo is reacting to in this next scene where she's standing with Joan. But my first thought is Clone High did have some gore to it. Which is, I feel like gore is not an appropriate word to use just because it's a cartoon. But Clone High did have those elements, like when Abe and Gandhi had the spork spoon knife thing. What was it called? The spife? The knife? I don't remember what it was called. But that had an element of gore to it as well. But this, what Cleo just did, first of all, Cleo in season 1 would have never, because she would be too caught up on what she looks like to even do this to herself. But I'm like, what the fuck was all this for? Like, there was also some gore when Ponce died. But I'm like, Cleo would never? Why? And then her voice is different. Which, I know you can't reprise all of your voice actors. It was 20 years ago, whatever. But she sounds just like generic. She doesn't have that, like, vocal fry, popular girl, ditzy, vapid sort of tone to her like she did in the first one. It just kind of feels like a woman talking. But this gore was very unnecessary, and I know that it can't be exactly like season 1, but it feels like I'm watching something different. I am. But it feels like I'm watching a show that was picked up by different showrunners who kind of lost sight of what made Clone High so good back then, and they're trying to tweak it so that it's good now, or like maybe what they think new audiences are looking for. But we don't need a new audience. The audience that's watching this is the same audience that watched that. We want that. or as close to that as we can get in 2023. I know the humor is different. There are some jokes that they did then that they couldn't do now, but just those 5 seconds of this display of gore that Cleo has inflicted upon herself, that doesn't feel like anything that she would do, you know? And I always do that thing where I'm like, am I doing too much? Am I dragging it? But I don't know. I feel like y'all are here for my opinions, damn it, and I'm giving them. And then my biggest gripe are the new characters. Looking at these 2 new characters, I couldn't tell you who they are. Okay, that's a lie. I look at Frida Kahlo and I can sort of kind of tell who that is. But I'm looking at who's supposed to be Harriet Tubman and I'm like, my neighbors are leaving their apartment and my walls are so thin and I don't want them to hear me complaining about cartoons. We're just gonna wait until they're either in their apartment or out of their apartment. Okay, I can look at Frida Kahlo and be like, okay, I can see sort of the Mexican influence in the pattern on her sleeve, with the roses in the hair, the shape of the hair, the unibrow, the mole, I can see it. I'm looking at Harriet Tubman. Who the fuck is that? Who is that? Like, I'm not asking for y'all to draw this woman in slavery clothing, but at least, like, hold on, let me Google a picture of Harriet Tubman just so I can, you know, have something to kind of draw some inspiration from. Like, Harriet Tubman, in a lot of these pictures, she has like a middle part and it's like slicked into a bun in the back, or she has a scarf on. If we wanted to modernize that character, why couldn't you do a middle part with like cornrows on either? I'm gonna put a picture of the hairstyle that I'm thinking of, but I'm like, I'm not looking at this character and thinking, I'm watching Clone High and that is supposed to be Harriet Tubman. I understand, like, modernizing the characters. You don't want to make them exact clones. I wouldn't ask, because if y'all put Harriet Tubman in some slavery garb, y'all know I would have bitched about it. But the pink hair, like, I'm not looking at this character and thinking, this is Clone High and that is one of the clones. That just looks like some girl who strolled on campus. But Frida Kahlo, I'm not mad at that design. Not to mention that in the original Clone High, Frida Kahlo and Harriet Tubman were already characters with their own character designs. Like, I do have issues here and there with their original character designs. Like Frida Kahlo, they made her overly hairy, which I know can be a trait for Hispanic girls, but that was weird that they did that. And Harriet Tubman was light skinned, which that was also weird that they did that. But they had established character designs. Why didn't you just go off your original character design to make it more true to the characters that are already established? It looks like it looks like a crossover episode. It looks like they took characters from a different show plus Clone High, mushed them together and called them a main cast. It's weird. You could have used the original design. But if you're going to make this clone of Harriet Tubman one of the main characters, which it looks like she's going to be to replace like Gandhi and all of that, I'd make her at least identifiable from first glance, because until she said her name, I didn't know who the fuck that was. So like I really think that they needed that little thing in the middle where they're rattling off the characters' names, because Confucius, I also would not have known who that is. Like, we have super old historical figures from the original Clone High that still kind of kept, they weren't, I can't even process what I'm trying to say. Like, they weren't 100% accurate, but you can look at them and they looked like they belonged there. They looked like I would be able to pause an episode of Clone High and go, that's supposed to be this person, that's supposed to be that person. Not too sure about you, but I can guess you're either them, or them, you know? But if Confucius didn't say his name, I wouldn't know who the fuck he is either. This is supposed to be Clone High. Make them clones. Like, the dyed hair, what are we doing? This is Clone High. I want to be able to see you and know who you are. Why? The first word. What is the first word in the name of this show? Okay. And then another little tiny itty bitty gripe that I have is that Frida Kahlo was Mexican. She don't even have a twinge of an accent. Like, and I know y'all can argue that, you know, accents are based on where you grew up, and if these clones grew up in whatever state that this is supposed to be, then they're not going to have the accent of their original historical figures because they grew up in the States or wherever the hell this is set in. But my thought process to that is, my rebuttal is, I don't care. Delude me. I don't care. Like, I know Ponce didn't have an accent, Gandhi didn't have an accent, Genghis Khan didn't have an accent, but goddamn it, at least try and delude me a little bit more, because just the character design is not working for me. So I need to be stimulated in other areas of this character if you're not going to give me good character design, you know? It does look like Scudworth and his robot, whose name I don't remember, are coming back, which is very good because I loved Scudworth. But in this little group shot of them hugging, it's very clear, even if I never saw the first season, I think it's very clear what characters are returning characters and which characters are new just based on their design. And that's my biggest gripe. If you take away nothing from what I'm saying today, just know that my biggest gripe with this show is the character design for these new characters. It's clone high. Let's make some clones. And that's pretty much it. I feel like I was very super rambly, so in editing I'm gonna try to cut it down to something that kind of makes a little bit of sense. I know this video was super short today, but yeah, the character design I think is absolutely horrible for these new characters. I think it definitely just could have been done so much better. JFK's voice is different. It's the same voice actor, but he does sound a bit different. That is not something, like, I saw a lot of people on Twitter going in about that. That is not a problem for me. I'm not going to expect you to do the same exact voice 20 years later in the exact same way. Like, you know, you do your best with what you got and whatever. But it just feels like, it doesn't feel like they're making the show for the people who originally watched it. And I know that doesn't make any sense to do because you want to expand your audience and not just keep it in the niche little circle that it originally was. But you should also try to remember, like, that's what got people watching this show in the first place. And expand, but stay true to what it is. Like, I'm going to watch it, and when the show comes out, we can do either a full season review or... every time you guys comment, like, I love your review, in my head, I'm always like, this is not a review, this is just watching cartoons and talking shit. But I also, myself, just called it a review. But when the season comes out, we could either do a full season conversation, or we can go episode by episode and have like a little mini Clone High rewatch series thing. I can do, like, we can live stream it possibly if I get to a place where I have the time to live stream it on a consistent basis. Or if HBO Max doesn't want to rip me apart for doing that, I need to look into all that streamy copyrighty rules for that. But we're definitely going to revisit this when it premieres. I'm just scared that it's gonna be bad and it's gonna taint my memories of what greatness the original show was. It was just stupid. Like, it was just stupid and fun, and I really hope they keep those elements because it seems very like linear plot. And the Clone High, the season 1, didn't really follow too much of a linear plot. It was always just like shenanigans, but a continuing theme. And I don't know. I'm just hoping for a silly, goofy time. That's all. So we will revisit it, but my main takeaways are the character design is trash. And that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye. If I have any more notes in editing, you already know I'm going to come in there and speak them, but that's all I got to say for now. Peace!